Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on when and where you're watching this video from. I'm Dr. Katie, your radio home. There is something for us to learn today. Of course, that's why I'm here. In continuity of our lectures on a series of lectures on the health and the problems a teenager will encounter and the help we need to render them. Today we'll be talking about some social problems of a teenager and the way forward, what we have to do to help the teenager in our lives, in our home, in our environment, the teenager that you bore, or the teenager that you're a guardian to. It is very important. Being a teen is very important because whatever it is that happens to a teenager will define his life, will define his destiny. So who is a teenager? A teenager is one between the ages of 13 and 19. That's clear. And the youth is one that is 19 and above, or to the level of a young adult. All right, so 19 is one number that is on both sides. 19 at 19 you will say you're a teenager, you're right. You will say you are a youth, you're right, according to the definition. Teenager between the ages of 13 and 19, a youth 19 and above, to the level of being a young adult. While an adolescent is one between the ages of 10 and 19. So this age group, they kind of interrelate. It's just a transition into adulthood, okay? Being a teenager is a transition from a childhood to being a youth, and then to a young adult, and then a middle-aged person. What is important is not these definitions. You know who is a teenager in your house. You know who is a young adult in your house. You know who is a youth in your house. You know who is an adolescent in your house. So this help is out for those age group of individuals that we have in our homes. We need to help them. This is because this age group is critical to what we will become in life, to what will define us, to what will mar us, to what we may make or mar an individual. So that's why we must pay a particular attention to this age group. So what are we talking about today? The social problems of a teenager. One, anxiety. A teenager is anxious. They don't know what the future holds. They are anxious because of their body changes. They are anxious because at this time, I talked a lot about the hormonal changes while they are growing the other time, and their body changes. But you must know that at this part of life, at this age group, they are very anxious because they are beginning to know self. They are beginning to become more aware of their environment, more aware about what people say about them, more aware about how people feel about them, more aware of where they go and everything. You know, at this level of life, they are very inquisitive. And so they are at risk of being depressed, at risk of being anxious. At this time, they are concerned about what people will say about them. So it is not good for parents who are very mouthy, who will use their mouth to destroy their children. Please, at this level, at this age group, children are very sensitive. To anything you tend to tell them, it will define them. So parents, don't begin to body shame them at this time. Any little thing you do can tip them to the other side, can depress them. Do you know that a teenager is so conscious of how he looks? So when you say you are too big, you are too thin, you are too fat, you look like a man, you look like a woman, all those things that are negative you say to your teenager can depress them, can make them anxious, can make them feel not belonging, not wanted, not loved. Okay? Do you know some people who were seen to be doing some other things in trying to look to be a man, a woman trying to be a man, or a man trying to be a woman? Some of them, when they were interviewed, they talked about while they were growing up, their aunt, their mom, their dad, or one other person in their life, one adult in their life, telling them that you look like a woman, see your face like that of a woman, see your, or a woman looking like a man. All those things you say to a teenager, be careful, because it can actually influence the way they want to look. It can actually influence the way they want to grow. It can actually influence who they want to be like. So be careful, especially when you know that teenager is one that is seeking attention. We'll come to that. So they are at risk of anxiety. They are at risk of depression because they have mood swings, okay? They have mood swings. And at this time, they are very sensitive. They are concerned about trying to please you. They are concerned about getting the attention or the praise or the love of their parents, of the adult in their life. So be careful that you don't talk them out of self, because they already have low self-esteem at that time. They're actually concerned about their body. So don't body shame them. Don't tease them. Don't bully them. We're going to talk about bullying itself, but I'm talking about parents that are coming up to say, look at you. You will eat all the food in the house. Look at how thin you are looking. It will matter because they'll begin to say, oh, looking thin is why my parents will not love me. It is not good to look thin. And they'll be looking sad. Why will God make me thin? If he knows my parents won't like me being thin, why will God make me that way? Don't say to a teenager, look at the way you are growing fatty. Look at your cheek. You are the only one eating the food in this house. You know, all those things that you carelessly say will impact so much significantly in the mood of a teenager. This is because at this time of their life is the time they just desire an approval from the other person, from the adults in their life. So just approve of what they are doing. Say, good girl, you're doing great. In fact, if you want to help the teenager in your life, it is time to praise them into positivity. You did so well. Look at the way you addressed those questions. Excellently well. This is my son. This is my daughter. I am proud of you. You know, look at the way you're growing into a perfect gentleman. My boy is fine. Okay? They like praises at this time. Even if they don't look exactly what you're telling them, what you are praising them to be, you know they will keep working hard to become that praise, to make you happy. You know? So just be careful the way you address the teenager in your life or in your environment. Don't bully them because they are at risk of bullying at this time. You know, if you talk about being a teenager, there's a very young one. There's a teenager who is 13, and there's a teenager who is 19, who is 18. So they tend to bully the younger one. And that one who is bullying another, he was one time, or she was one time bullied. So it goes round at that age group. So you must try as much as possible as a parent, to ask the teenager in your life, take history for bullying, anybody bullying you. You need to help them. You need to assure them that there is help. That even if they threaten you, if you tell your parents, I'll kill you, when you come tomorrow, I'll beat you. Tell them you are able to stand up to whatever force that wants to bully them and defeat the force. You see, if I tell a soldier, if I report them to the police, if they take them to court, they will go to jail. You know, they will take them, they will rusticate them, they will send them away from your school, and you'll be free from their bullying, you'll be free from their trouble. You must assure your teenager that you are a pillar of help that God has sent to them, so that they will be able to confide in you with the problems of life. It is not their fault, it is just the life, the age group they are in. And that is what is expected to happen to them at that time. So you counseling them will give them the ability to be able to manage these pressures and go through. So they are at risk of bullying. And I tell you, you older teenager, don't bully a younger teenager. You youths, adults, don't bully a child around you. Okay, don't take from the child and begin to say, if you say a word, I beat you, because you think you are older or you have more physique, body build. And there are some teenagers that are small for age. You can see some 14, 15-year-old that is looking small, like a 12, like a 10. And there's another teenager who is 12 or who is same age, who is bigger than him or her. And then you begin to bully him. You know he's older than you. You begin to say, if you talk, sit down there. Don't bully anyone, it's bad. You know, when I mean their psychology, it can make them begin to withdraw. They don't want to come to talk to people. They don't want to relate with people. Say, these people are wicked. They will say, I'm small. They want to bully me. When I stand, they will say, sit down. When I sit down, they will say, get up. Some will say, sit on the floor. You know this teenager is almost your age or even older than you. Because you have a better physique, you are bigger, you are taller. You begin to bully them. Avoid bullying. Even parents, tell your children at home, don't bully anyone and don't allow anybody to bully you. If anybody is bullying you in school, tell me. Because bullying in school will prevent your teenager from concentrating in school. In fact, some teenagers will say they don't want to go to school because of bullying. They'll be scared to go to school. And when they are in school, they are in class, they don't listen attentively. They don't get to understand. And that can lead to poor performance in class, poor academic performance. So bullying is bad. Discourage bullying in all facets. So parents, what you have to do about bullying is talk to your own child, not to bully another. If you talk to your child, I talk to my child, and they all go there to meet, nobody is going to bully another. Parents, don't be too busy for your children. Don't be too busy to counsel them. Don't be too busy to grow with them. Because the better you talk to them, the better they become. Do you know when they become a better adult, you are the one that will be proud. That's my son. In fact, I won't need to ask you whose son is that before you tell me that's my son. And meanwhile, if the output, the outcome is not beautiful, you know, it will be difficult. It will be difficult to find a mother without me asking her, telling me that one who picks the pocket, or who is a drug addict, who is a robber, or who is a rapist is the son. You get it? So every good thing, every person will want to associate with a good person, with a good thing in life. So try to invest time, invest counseling, invest direction in your children so that their outcome will be attractive. All right? So they are at risk of being bullied. We must stop bullying in all angles. Teachers, when they report to you cases that look like bullying, the one who bullies the other should be punished so that it should desist from it. In fact, you can send a bully away from school so that other children who are gentle-headed can have peace, can have a good environment where they can learn. Send the bully away so that the parents will go and do the right job at home. Teach your children right not to bully anyone so that when they come to the public, they will be decent children. So it will be the punishment of the parents who do not train a child not to bully, to have to pay school fees or buy new uniform in a different school or a new school. That might be very harsh. But what am I trying to say? Please, don't wait for your child to be rusticated or to be sent home or to be withdrawn or to be asked to leave the school before you inculcate the right knowledge. Teach your children not to bully anyone. 4, being a teenager, social media addiction, cyber addiction is one of the problems that they fight. And parents, you must be seen to be proactive in doing this. I'll tell you life experience. Social media can mar a child and can make a child. Do you know, coming up in social media recently, I was able to learn one thing or two. And I think I'll talk about it here. When I got home, I got home one afternoon, I told my children, none of you will be in Facebook if you love me. I can allow you, as at the time you are in the university, the one in the university, I will allow you to be in TikTok. I will allow you to have your WhatsApp. You have your WhatsApp with your friends and with your group and every other thing. If you want to be in Instagram, Twitter. But I told them, none of my child, if you love me, will connect to Facebook until you are above 20. They were asking me, Mommy, why? Should I tell you this period that I've been coming up on social media? People will call me with messenger video call and be naked. I will look at them and say, what a word is this? I block them. I turn it off, I block them. People will call and say, if you show me your breasts, I'm going to pay you money. Messenger video call. I look at them and say, do you mean that teenagers or young people, young adults in the social media, the youths, between the ages of 19 and 30, between the ages of 13 and 19, that are on social media, they see all this. How are they able to manage it? Because at this age, I'm an adult, I've got a strong will, I have decent upbringing. In fact, I'm a mother now, raising children, and I have the fear of God, and see what they are doing. So what will they do to adults? How will you tell an adult you are video calling? You are video calling an adult, asking an adult to go nude that you will pay. And they will say, send your account, let me pay first before you do it, so that you know I'm not going to dupe you, or I'm not a cheat. You can imagine. Is that what you want to put up your child to? And to make it worse, pornography is another thing. If you don't control your teenager, they'll be addicted to it. It will read them psychologically. Go and look for a child who started early into pornography and masturbation and all those other abnormal sexual habits and arts. They will tell you how they were deranged. You know what will follow it? What will follow it will be drug abuse, illicit drug use. Yes, because when they begin to have such things, the desire will keep building. They will be addicted to it. You see them looking from one part of the social media to the other, subscribing to places that you would not ever believe. You wouldn't believe that your own teenager has subscribed to such parts of the social media. So parents, what am I saying? Social media or cyber addiction is one of the problems a teenager will face. And if you are not proactive in helping your teenager go through this, educating your teenager before the addiction, when they are now addicted, they will not listen to you. It will distract them. They will not concentrate in class. What the teacher will be teaching, their own is, let the teacher get out and let me get to my phone and get to where I will have my pictures, pornography, or whatever it is that is there that is derailing them. So, addition to social media, parents, your child who is in the secondary school, your teenager, has no reason to be on data all through. No way. You just put a phone with data 24 hours and give to a teenager when you are not there to supervise. When you are not there to say restricted areas. Yes, data is good because a lot of educational materials are there online, are there on social medias, Google, YouTube. There are things they can learn. But if you are not there to supervise where they go to, this channel or the website they go to. If you're not there to guide them, only give them access to data when it is school homework, when it is educative materials. They cannot control themselves. There are adults who can't even control themselves with data. We have seen soup burning on fire because a mother is addicted to social media. Soup burning. Father complaining, I've been eating for the whole of this week. Everything I've been eating is burnt. Why? Addiction to social media. If an adult can be that addicted to the extent of burning food, what do you expect of a teenager, a child? What do you expect? In fact, they will not listen. They will begin to go down in school. They will look for the shortcuts. That's the truth. Because anything that will be stressful, that will take them away, anything that will take them away from social excitement, anything that will take them away from this easy life of just hanging on the phone, watching terrible things from one place to another, they will hate it. So come and get ready. Wake up 6 o'clock and go to school. Wake up 5:30 and go to school. They won't like it. Come and do your assignments. Come and read. They won't like it. They just want to be on the phone. Parents, I'm advising you. If your child is good, you are the one that will enjoy your child. All right? Please be proactive in raising your children. I'm not saying let them not have access 100%, but I'm saying watch them. Look at where they go, the sites they visit. Look at the things they entertain themselves with. See whether it is healthy. Can you imagine? 18 or 17, I watched the status of that child. You know what I was saying? Naked women, men in the heart, breasts showing everywhere, 17 or your status. So you are not even looking at it alone. You are beginning to exhibit it. You are not scared that your parents will see those terrible things on your status. You are not scared that your pastor will see it. You are not scared that your older adults, your senior brother, your senior sister, or people around you that are older than you will see that on your status and think that you are spoiled. At 17, you are spreading nudity everywhere on your status or your social media. That is the decadence that is happening in our community. It is not their fault. It's the world they are now finding themselves in. So if you don't tend to teach them early so that they will know what is obtainable out there, and teach them modesty so that when they are exposed to it, they know how to handle it. They will make mistakes before you know. Do you know at the time people call now, they were calling me on messenger phone, messenger video call. As they were calling, appearing nude, I could handle it. I just looked at him. I said, you are dirty. That's the truth. You know? So when they see somebody who is so mean and not just getting to see what they are doing, they get out by themselves. And what I do is to block them, you know. Evil desires, evil thoughts, evil deeds will corrupt good manners. Evil deeds corrupt good manners. So I didn't want to see them again. I just blocked them. But I was saying, what about a child who do not have the willpower? A teenager without a willpower? A youth without a willpower? They will just say, okay, good. What is it? Is it not to just show off the breast? It's not like he's going to touch it. It's on a video call. He cannot touch it. If it is true, let me send him my account number or send her my account number. If he's able to pay in some money, I'll just show him anyway. He's not going to touch it. I can't get pregnant, you know. I can't get to have sexually transmitted disease, STDs, you know. They will begin to think that way and think that it's just a cheap way to make money. I say, it's not a problem. Nobody is going to know. Then they lock themselves in the room and they begin to have such video chats. Begin to have such abnormal video chats with strangers. And they now become addicted because the body will so desire it. And the spirit will not be in control because you are not feeding the spirit spiritually. You see it. You are not feeding the spirit with the word of God. And before you know it, they are drawn into it, indebted in it, and addicted to it. I want to have it done every day. With the excuses. Do you know some people who are married will even go ahead and say, as far as he's not going to touch me, it's over the video, it's only singing, he can't touch, he can't get me pregnant, he can't get me infected, they will continue to do it. And they think it's cool money. It's devilish, it's demonic. Okay, you say, madam, you are not preaching. Doctor, you are giving us information to prevent disease. Should I tell you what problem that will cause? You would have been cheating on your husband or your wife emotionally. There is nothing that the woman in your life or the man in your life will do that will excite you because you are getting satisfaction elsewhere. You know what will happen? You will get her or him depressed because he will come up to say, there's nothing that I do that my spouse will like. If I'm irritating him, I'm irritating her. Do you know at the time you are coming to us with features of depression, anxiety, mood swing, and then we're not going to place you on antidepressant, you can see that it's beginning to concern me. That's why at each time I tell you healthy living is what you must practice in order to prevent disease. Pornography is an unhealthy way of living. Aside the spiritual implication, it is an unhealthy way to live. It will affect people in the heart, and it will affect spouses and other relationships that they are involved in, because they have been addicted to this kind of life. Even the masturbation is also an unhealthy way of life, because you get satisfaction somewhere. Your wife or your husband is there desiring it and not getting it. It becomes psychologically or emotionally sick, and then problems will begin to come. So please, parents of a teenager, make sure you are looking at what your teenagers are watching in the internet, in the web, and what they practice. Another thing, illicit drug use, drug abuse. This is actually coming from peer pressure. I will join it with peer pressure. Peer pressure is one of the problems of a teenager. How? Because we have teenagers from different parts of the world, or let me say different parts of a country, different homes that are God-fearing, homes that are not God-fearing, broken marriages, okay, from orphanages, from different religions, from different beliefs, teenagers from different upbringing coming together in school, under one roof, to be taught by one teacher. And as at time they are together, one of them, another is very wide, another is very naive and timid, and you are bringing them together. What will happen? If you did not inculcate in your child the morale that is needed to go through life, the difference between bad and good, the difference between evil and modest, there will be a problem. That one who has been brought up in a very rugged way, in a bad home, raised by parents who themselves were not well brought up, they will influence your child. They will tell your child it is the best to do drugs, it is the best to smoke, it is the best to consume alcohol, it is the best to run away from class, it is the best to quit, Said, no, don't worry. What is it? Must you stay in the class? Let's leave him alone. When it is time to write exam, I will teach you what to do. They are the ones that go and carry their textbook in for exam practices. Unfortunately, I was reading a message recently. They said, a letter from university lecturers to secondary school teachers and schools and owners of private schools. Do you know what was there on that letter? I was ashamed of myself. Letter from university teachers. I don't know whether you have seen it, parents. From university teachers to private school owners and teachers in secondary schools. They were begging them, teachers, private school owners, please leave your teenagers or your students alone to write exams by themselves. We are tired of seeing a distinction candidate in mathematics not knowing a simple equation. You see qualification A1, and as at the time you are giving simple fractions, simple algebra, they are not able to solve it. They begin to wonder, how did you get A1, a distinction in mathematics, without knowing common algebra or LCM or ACL? They were wondering and they were furious, and so they decided to write an open letter to private school owners and to parents. What am I trying to say? As at the time your teenager is meeting up with bad people, bad gangs, peer pressure, negative peer pressure, they will tell the child, don't worry. The child will say, the teacher is in class. No, they'll hide up somewhere. They begin to smoke, abuse drugs, do illicit drugs, bad habits, wrong sexual habits. They begin to be involved in several things, exploring in the negative way. And as I tell they are doing that, they need to miss classes to be able to have time to do that. So the one who is still afraid will say, no, the teacher is in class. What do you want us to do? Say, don't worry. When it's exam time, we'll tell you what to do. And then they'll carry their bags, carry their books into the exam hall. They are involved in the exam practices. They are seen not to have their homework up to date, their project, their assignment not up to date, because they are beginning to follow the wrong class of people or the wrong group of people. I have seen parents relocating. I said that in my previous video. Relocating because they felt that the class of people that their teenager is mingling with will lead him or her to prison in a very young age. They will change. They will relocate, try to separate that child from this bad influence, this bad group. You know why they do that? They do that because if they try to advise that teenager at that time, the teenager will not know. We don't want to hear. We don't want to listen. Because at that time, there's a lot of hormonal surges. There's a lot of pressure. There's a lot of peer pressure peer group influence, negative influence, that they will not think. At that time, they are inquisitive. They doubt even themselves. Don't talk about their parents. They doubt the judgment of their parents. So they begin to think it's the parent that is wrong. So parents, they don't want to be too forceful on their child. So they know the child will not believe at this time. So parents will see children running away from the house. The teenager will run, will not go to school, will run away from the house, believing that the parents are overbearing. So because they don't want to be separated from their own child, you know, they don't want that error, they don't want that mistake that will affect the life of the child badly, negatively. They will have to take the decision to leave that environment to a new environment in order to separate that teenager from that bad influence, that peer pressure, that negative influence, okay, that drug influence. You must seem to have educated your teenager, telling your teenager about the risk that they tend to be exposed to as a growing child. How people will tell them to drink, how people will tell them to smoke, how it is not good for them, not good for their health, not good for their well-being, not good for their future, how they can be dropouts, how they can become drug addicts, how they can have hepatitis, how they can have lung cancer, how they can have even a liver cancer. You know, you must be seen to be telling them about the risk that is ahead and teaching them how they can avoid it. And do you know too, there is something wrong with appreciating your teenager that is doing well. Just call your son or your daughter and hug the child so deeply. Say, thank you, sweetheart, for making me proud. You know, they feel good that what they are doing is right. You know, hug your teenager so deeply. Rest on their chest. Because at that time they are growing. Some can be taller than you. You know, you can be of the same height. You can be taller than some. But don't worry. Just rest on their chest and say, thank you, son. Thank you, daughter. Thank you, my love, for making me proud. Thank you for not causing me pain. Thank you for not exposing me to risk. Thank you for not allowing my enemies laugh at me. You know, there are ways to ginger your teenager, make them feel good, and make them feel that what they are doing is the right thing, especially when they are on the right path. And then that child will continue to do it because that child wants the love, wants all those positive accolades, wants those positive talk, you know. And so they want to continue in daddy's good book, in mommy's good book. What are the things again? The next is gambling. The teenager is at risk of gambling. It's also coming from peer pressure, especially for some. Do you know that there are parents who gamble? And when they are raising teenagers too, they see what their parents are doing and they want to do the same. And at the time they are doing the same, when they go out, they want to teach their classmates, okay, their friends in school. So these are the negative influence that will come. And before you know it, your child is trying to look for money to gamble. And when they are addicted, they can still to do it. Before you know it, they begin to pickpocket because they are addicted to gambling. So how will you run away from it? Let them know. That's what I'm telling you. If you cannot actually do it alone, play this video before your child and reinforce it. Okay? Are you listening to this doctor? You are at risk of gambling. Don't gamble. Don't let them influence you. You will dash your destiny away to gambling. The money you would have used to build a house, that you would have used to buy cars, that you would have used to have a good life, to raise your children and be a beautiful family, you will waste it because you are gambling. You must be seen, proactive, to let your teenager know that there is risk in going the wrong way. Don't body shame a teenager because their body changes. They are not sure whether exactly that is what is expected. Their bodily changes. They are not sure whether that is what it should be. So try as much as possible not to body shame a teenager because they are at risk of low self-esteem. So make sure you are telling your children that, yo, you are growing beautiful or you are growing handsome, perfect gentleman, my son, I'm proud of you. Tell them those good things. It will help them put it right. It will help their psychology. It will help their mind. It will help their thinking. At the end, you will have a good outcome, raising a better teen. A teen you can be proud of, growing into a wonderful youth, a better youth. They will say, whose son is this? In fact, before they finish that question, you say, that's my son, because you're proud. Okay? So invest in your teenager. Go check out information that will help you help your teenager and make sure you are helping the teenager. All right? And another thing is building the trust for communication. Parents, let your teenager trust you. Build a communicating relationship with your teenager. Don't be too harsh that your teenager at your sight will lament We feeble. We want to wither away because it's at the sight of daddy or at the sight of mommy. Let a teenager be able to discuss with you who spoke, who taught, whatever he or she is going through in school, at home, or anywhere in the environment. Let your teenager trust you enough to be able to confide in you. How will you be able to do that? Build a beautiful relationship. Let them be their best friend. Don't let them get friendship in a stranger. Otherwise, they'll be taught by the stranger. And trust me, everything they are taught by the stranger will be selfish enough to have it at his or her own advantage to cheat or steal from your teenager. They can abuse them. They can deflower them because they are giving them the wrong information. But if you have equipped your teenager with the right information, you have equipped your teenager with the morals, modesty that is needed to go through life, that teenager will not deviate from it. Even if they deviate at a time. I remember I had a youth talking to me about the only time she ever tried going to a party. That at the middle of the road, very dark, that the voice of the father was speaking to her in her heart. That is because the father was used to talking. The father was saying, do you know if you go out late, your daddy is not there, your mommy is not there, men can take advantage of you. And when they do whatever they want to do with you, if you don't die, because when they are too much, you can die. And if you don't die, you'll be injured. And as the time that is done, when I come, I'll tell you, oh, sorry, why did you go out? Why did you do this? I will still take you as my child and bring you home. But do you know you are the one that is wounded? You are the one that has the psychological trauma. You are the one that is bruised. So if it's affecting your life, I will not be the one that will help you bear the pain. She said immediately she stepped out of the hostel that night. I think it was late in the evening. As the dark was coming, he said it was like somebody was going to catch her and begin to do to her what the father has been telling her. He said she went back home. Okay, even when the child at the time is so pressured or so influenced to try those things, you said don't. But your voice, because you are be saying it repeatedly, will still come quietly to tell you, daddy said don't do this. Mommy said don't do this. If there's nothing that you have been saying, nothing that your child will remember. In those tough times, in those difficult times, nothing that your child will remember. So keep talking. If you are a father of a teenager, if you are a mother of a teenager or a guardian of a teenager has been put in your care to raise, or you are a teacher of a teenager, whether in school or in church, please keep talking. Even when it seems like that child is not listening, or that child is stubborn, or doesn't seem to hear, there is a day that your voice will speak to the conscience of that child. And that child will say, it is actually for my good. That is what my teacher said. Let me not destroy myself. Let me go home. Let me not kill my mother. I've seen mothers cry, say, don't do this to me. It's hot. It's hurting me. It's hurtful. You want to kill me. You know, mothers, they've tried all sorts of styles just to make sure they are able to win the heart of their teenager over, to ensure that they don't go out there to be involved in habits and lifestyle that will destroy them. There's always something to learn. That's why I come to you every day. But this time is with emphasis on you taking care of your teenager, which is your future. It is your future. So you must be seen to be investing in your future. If you don't raise them well, see, I can tell you from experience. I'm a doctor. You know, there are people who have raised their children well with so much love, and they too, they've done well in life. When they are here admitted in the hospital, their children are around them. They take turn. It's my turn. It's my turn with love. You see them kissing their parents all over. You see them cleaning. You know, even when at a time we say we have nurses who will take care of them, they say, no, please, just allow me feed her. Just allow me feed him so that he can feel love. Please, they'll be begging. But do you know how we have also seen some? They'll be here. They just keep sending money. They won't see them. You know, at a time we'll be asking the psychologists to come and review their mother because they are near depression, or to come and review their father because they feel abandoned. Irrespective of the amount of money you pump into their lives, you pump into their care, you pump into their nutrition, into their feeding, into their clothing, into their shelter. If they don't see you, they don't feel love. You know, so it is how you have raised your child. If you raise your child close to you, your friend, good upbringing, good morals, that child will, at any time you're not there, the child will want to see you. And whatever situation you are going through in life, the child will want to be there, to be supportive, to love you because you're a friend. And that child is also your friend. And at any time too, you're also there for that child. been there, you know. Do you know, even in places where they have made mistakes, their children who have also made mistakes, their parents will not leave them alone. Say, no, don't do it. You see how the other time was hurtful. You see the pains you went through. Don't do it again. You know, they will also stay by that child in the time of error and ensure that they guide the child, you know, they guide the child again back to the right path. You know, the child was derailed at the time. They will ensure that they guide the child back to the right track. And when the child will remember that sacrifice, they will say, no, I won't leave my daddy alone. I won't leave my mommy alone. My dad is my friend. I've seen parents, you know, who dresses the same with their teenagers, whether the boys or the girls. You know, just try to tell them, I'm your friend. Trust me enough, okay? Try to build communication system with trust with your teenager. It will help. It will help them confide in you. It will help them trust you. It will help them tell you their fears, their worries, their concerns. That's one. Another problem of a teenager is procrastination. I'll do it tomorrow. I'll do it tomorrow, especially when it is things that will matter. Clean your room. I'll do it later. Have you done your assignment? I'll do it later. Have you done your project? I'll do it later. What is distracting them? Social media, the phone, the internet, the cyber, whatever it is, the game, the computer game, those other things that is addictive will distract them. Go and read, I'll do it later. But do you know the problem that later will do to them? As at the time they have a short deadline, maybe they now have 20 or 18 assignments or homework to do within 2-3 hours. That is the deadline. You see them panicking. You see them under pressure. You see them with fears, anxious, depressed, mood swing, trying to give up. Do you know some teenagers have been seen to give up at that time? They don't want to go to school. Why are you not going to school? Because there is an assignment he hasn't done. The teacher is going to beat him or beat her. I'm not going to go to school. And they'll tell you I'm not fine. Trying to dodge. And it will only get worse. It can never be better. Because those homework are not done. There are some, their notes will be up to date. Parents, are you checking their notes? When they say open days in school, do you go? You don't know those open days. They are the times you are able to communicate with the teachers. Look at the work of your child. Is the note up to date? They will let you know your child doesn't copy notes in school. He needs to be up to date with assignment, with note copying for that child to be able to do well in school. School will not only teach you to pass exam, we teach you how to use your time, how to be modest, how you relate with people, how to take care of your assignment and your responsibilities. And when you go for open days, you attend to your children's academic demands in terms of meeting the parents, PTA meeting, and all that. You'll be able to know, you catch up with the growth of your child. Is he doing well in school? Is he obedient? Is he disobedient? Is he dab? There's a word the teenagers used to use that when the child begins to dab class, you know, that child doesn't go to class. Teachers will be in class, the child is under the mango tree, the garden, doing something different. Because there's a lot of notes he has missed before the recent one. And he doesn't want to be copying the recent one when there are lots he is here to copy. And he will not convince himself, no problem, I'll just copy all from a friend. When I'm done copying, I can now start joining class. And he keeps postponing, procrastinating until he will not do it. Do you know most times, such children will end up dropping out of school. Will tell you they are not going to school. Or I'm not going to that school again. Parents will find out why. Because they want to go and start afresh. And as at the time they do it over and over again, they are tired of school. It's one of the things that would be, you know, that is responsible for dropout. Not being able to handle school work as it comes. They will not gather it until it becomes a body. And then they want to say they don't want to go to school. I want to change school. I don't want to go to that school. And when their teachers keep talking to them on what they have to do, you know, trying to tell them they must update their notes, they must do their own work in order to be in class. And if there's any form of punishment coming, they will say the teacher is bad. They will run away from school and go and stay somewhere else until there's closing time. When it is closing time, they'll come and wait for their parents to go home with them. Parents, be proactive. Make sure you are checking your child's work. Make sure you are meeting all the school requirements in terms of open day, PTA meeting, so that you will have necessary information, relevant information about your child. It is not where your teenager is now a very dry fish that you don't be trying to bend. It will break. So that as the child is growing, you are growing with the child. As it is still soft, as this fish is still soft, that's when you begin to give it the shape and the design that you want. So grow with your teenager. Make sure you are helping your teenager achieve the necessary information that will help build a beautiful life. So the least and not the last, is the fact that a teenager are seen to be exploring various abnormal sexual habits. You see them trying to bet, pay me some money, I will show you my private parts. Pay me some money, I will touch your private parts. You know, and if they don't have a very corrupt adult around them, it takes advantage of that curiosity. It takes advantage of that adventurousness, and then begin to lead them wrong, begin to lead them in the wrong direction. So parents, be the number one person to educate your child, educate your teenager. So don't deceive yourself by trying to say they don't know and I don't want to let them know. Stop deceiving yourself. The children we have this day, they know even more than you know. So don't be thinking that you need to hold some parts. There's a lot there in the social media. There's a lot out there in the cyber. So don't try to deceive yourself by saying that you should not be the one exposing them. They know more than you. So it is something you must be up to date with, so that you will not allow another person to do the teaching for you. You should be the one educating your teenager. Hope you have learned something. It's Dr. Kate again. I'm always here to give you information to help you prevent disease and live a better life. Hope you've learned something today. If you have learned something, make sure you share this video with a mother of a teenager. See, if you are not the talking type, you don't know what to tell your teenager, just click on this video. Let them watch the videos themselves. I have others streaming already. The challenges of a teenager and the health problems of a teenager. So this is the third video I'm doing on a teenager. So please look out for those videos and ensure that you are playing it for your teenager. If you cannot do the talking, if you cannot learn from it and be the one doing the teaching, let them be learning from the voice of Dr. Kate. At the end, you are the one that will enjoy it when there is better outcome, when your teenager is making you proud. Thank you for listening. Thank you for listening. Hope you have learned something. Have a great day. Bye.